Hi, my name's Ingram Jones. I'm reporting for Fight Hype UK, and I'm with today Dereck Chisora's trainer, Don Charles. Good afternoon, Don. How are you?
Good afternoon to you. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm all good. Really, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this interview with you today. First, I must ask: big fight, David and Chisora. What are your feelings about the fight? You know, it's 1 week to go.
Well, preparation's gone really well. I always make a point of saying no injuries. Didn't sustain any injuries during training, so that's always a bonus, because it's a big fight. But Dereck's been in his last 3 fights, in fact, have all been big fights.
Yes.
So it's it's not phased at all by the occasion, because we've been there already. You don't get no bigger than fight for a WBC title, which was his last fight. So he's well equipped mentally and physically to be able to deal with the job ahead. And training's gone really well, and we're actually excited. Dereck's the mood is in at the moment, and he's really excited. It's
been reported that Dereck was training with Joe Hanks.
That's right.
And the WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Nathan Cleverly.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you elaborate as to why you picked those two guys to spar with? Yeah,
there are other sparring partners as well. I had two. When the fight was first mentioned, I had already had in mind who I was going to draft in for the sparring, and I had 2 heavyweights, 2 cruiserweights, and 2 light heavies.
Okay.
Yeah. So to bring what we needed for this fight. Dereck has never fought anybody as fast as David Haye. So you have to, I'm one of these people. You have to recognize what your opponent's qualities. Yeah. And I happen to be a very true person to myself, because a lot of people lie to themselves. And that's what beats you in life. I've acknowledged, and Dereck is also in acknowledgement, that David Haye possesses speed, punching speed. And I believe we've addressed that in our preparation to be able to counteract what he has. But I don't believe that Mr. Haye and his trainer Adam Booth, they've always ridiculed Dereck Chisora and myself. They've gone to the degree at that calling Dereck a bum, in the past. So that's what's going to defeat them, because when you don't take time to acknowledge what somebody has, and you're oblivious or you're ignorant to it, that thing will come back and bite you on the bottom.
Okay, do you think, in terms of preparation and Dereck being in shape, I've got to ask the question, because Dereck came into not really great shape against Fury, came into better shape against Helenius, he looked in better shape against Vitali, so it would be the thinking that he would be an even better fighter come this particular fight.
It's experience. He'd be a better experienced fighter for this particular fight, so therefore, yeah. Obviously the Fury thing will always keep propping up, which is in hindsight, I'm glad that happened. I can sit here now and say to you, obviously we're disappointed when it happened. I was saddened when it happened. It was the worst part of me since I've been coaching. It was the worst period of my coaching career. I've learned from it as a coach, of what actually happened and why, if I can help it, it won't happen again during my coaching time. So the Fury thing happens. Things happen for reasons in life, but when it happens, we as humans, we think it's the end of the world. But there's always a reason. That reason reveals itself somewhere along the line. And that the Fury thing was a turning point for Dereck Chisora as a person and as a fighter, because it really made him stand up and look at himself. Yeah. And me as a coach, I also looked at myself. Am I good or am I not good? You start to question yourself. I'm a human being. You start to doubt yourself. And then obviously we redeemed ourselves with the Helenius performance, a fight which Again, I have to, every time I speak to anybody like yourself, any other press, I always make a point of defending this particular point, because David Haye always goes and says Dereck lost his fights, 3 fights. No, he hasn't. He's only ever lost 2 fights. Tyson Fury beat Dereck convincingly, and Vitaly Klitschko unanimous points victory over Dereck Chisora. So Dereck Chisora did not lose against Robert Helenius. So I always make a point of defending that. I don't know if he's seen the fight. I don't think David Haye watched the fight, because if he watched the fight, and then if he can turn around and still say that Dereck lost, then he's lying to himself, and that's what's going to beat him. Yeah, if you don't acknowledge, I acknowledge, and Dereck acknowledges David Haye's achievements. I think he's done really well, David Haye. His career, their business module is A1. Yeah, they've absolutely done it in a way, in a clever way, to get him, maneuver him to where he's gotten, and I admire that all day long. But as a fighter, fighting against my fighter Dereck Chisora against David Haye, Dereck is all wrong for David Haye.
There are a lot of guys that speak on, I've spoken to on YouTube and boxing fans that say, well, David's got the speed, he's got the power, he's got the style. Now, what is this style that they think that David has got that could defeat Chisora and defeat him easily?
Okay, look, where should I start? David Haye is he is brilliant at selling himself to the public, and he's managed to do that. He's a good-looking boy. Yeah, if I were a lady, he's a well-built man in the sense he's physically it's a good specimen of a human being to look at. Yes, he is. He's got all everything in place. So therefore, I think he gets away with a lot of things of his image that he portrays, and the public have bought into that. The general public have bought into that. And he's like a politician, where he's very convincing in the way he he's well trained, the way he speaks to the media. So he's managed to be able to convince the public, but he hasn't convinced me, because I'm a trainer. Yeah, the same way. Do you like football?
I like football, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, who do you support?
Arsenal.
I shouldn't be sitting here with you. I'm a Tottenham man.
Oh God, my cousin plays for Tottenham actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Defoe.
No way.
He's my cousin.
Jermaine's the man. Yeah.
I used to look up at Jermaine when I was younger. Yes.
Defoe is the man.
He is indeed.
The man. Underrated.
Very underrated.
Underused by his country. He should have featured in the Euro finals recently. Yeah. The reason I'm talking about football is that you got the managers who pick and who pick the players. Okay, they pick the players. I don't want to contradict myself here, but I'm going to say it anyway. The managers pick the players, but yet again, how many people, if you've ever gone to a football match and you sit in the stands, there's so many experts in the stands.
Yeah.
Okay, they've never done anything but kick a ball about in the park, but yet again, they're no better than the manager who picks the players. The manager who picks the players has got a better insight on which players are performing in training, which players are on form, which players should be playing. Their mentor as well, mentally, if they're correct. So, the reason I'm giving that description or example is because there's a lot of people who are saying David Haye's got this speed, he's got this power, yeah. They're all armchair experts, yeah, and people should be entitled to their opinion, which is their opinion. But I'm saying to them, if they really take the opportunity and time and look closer and examine, and don't go by what your mate has told you. Have you seen that, David? It's so fast. Human beings, we are like that.
We like to be get enslaved by other people's opinions very quickly.
We like that, yeah. But none of us, except for people like yourself, myself, when something is put towards me, before I have an opinion on it, I always examine it first. If I'm in agreement with that, then I'll say, yeah, I'll be the first to praise that thing. Yeah, I'm afraid I've monitored David Haye from a long time ago with his boxing career, and I don't fall for that hype. Yeah, I'm not ignoring it. Yes, there is something there. Yes, it's quick. It's quick in the heavyweight division. He would be considered as one of the quickest.
Well, it should be coming up from cruiserweight.
Yeah, so he has got that speed, but he hasn't really proved that speed in the heavyweight division. As a cruiserweight, yes, he unified. You can't do no better than unifying the division, which he did. But as a heavyweight, he's yet to prove himself. I'm not convinced as a heavyweight that he became the heavyweight WBA
champion. Being
Values, and I think on punch stats he threw something like 36 punches.
He was on the back foot all the fight. 36
punches in 12 rounds. That's 3 punches per round.
But he hasn't got a high output of punches.
Like I said, he won that title. That title, when he won it, could easily have been awarded to Value, because he was a champion.
Yes.
From my recollection, to be a champion, you have to beat them convincingly.
Yes.
It wasn't convincing enough. So, really and truly, if that fight was awarded to Value, nobody would have argued. Right?
Yes.
But he won it because the belt was better.
In his hands,
worth more
marketable.
So he got the decision. So he'd achieved his dreams. I'm not trying to take his dreams away from him. He, in history, it will always read that Dereck Chisora, one day, soon to be, but in history, it will always read that David Haye
was heavyweight championship world. You can't knock him.
You can't. No, absolutely, he got it. But I'm not convinced. I'm not one of the people that have bought his hype. A lot of it is hype.
Now, there's one thing, as you're the trainer talking, and of course you would back your fighter. But there's another thing where, do you think your fighter will be able to execute, come fight night, the game plan, and stick to the game plan under pressure? That's, because every trainer will say, we've worked 12 weeks for this, and all it takes is, you get in the ring and something to go wrong, one punch you go.
Exactly. Look, yes, I'm not going to be no different. I like that question. I'm not going to be no different to any coach. They'll say exactly the same thing. Yes, we're prepared for any eventualities. We're prepared. I've always said, it's no secret, if David Haye chooses to box, which is what I believe he will do, he chooses to box, we'll force him to fight. If he chooses to fight, it's going to be one hell of a good fight.
Well, we know it'll be a good fight if he chooses to fight. But but he in all of his career, he counter punches. He backs up and throws punches.
Okay, let me also add, I said if he chooses to box, we'll force him to fight. If he chooses to fight, it'll be a great fight, but he will have no choice in the matter. He will do as we wish him to do.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I
understand.
We will
have him.
Yes.
I've said this once before, I say it again. We're going to have that man on remote control. Yeah?
Okay.
If you go in a game of football and trying to play to accommodate the other team, you're losing. Don't play their game. David Haye will play our game. He'll be dancing to our music.
After this, if you are to be, because I've got to say completely biased here, if you are to win the fight, you're going to end up like a Nostradamus. You know that.
Well, it's not rocket science. My observations, my predictions are purely based on facts, based on examination. I've taken time to examine David Haye. And I know they've taken time to examine us.
Adam would say the same thing.
I think because based on what they've said with their own mouth, I'm not just inventing these things. It's well documented. Based on the previous assumptions and previous predictions. That Dereck Chisora, they've always labelled him a fat bum. Okay. Yes, Dereck is not gifted with his body where we've all got different body types. He's not the most athletic looking individual, nor was Tim Witherspoon. He was a world champion. You could go right through history of boxing. Okay, Larry Holmes wasn't exactly body beautiful,
but he did the job.
Right, so you could go through James Quick Tillis. You remember him?
Yes.
Right. Okay, these guys. We're not all gifted. We're not. This is not a six-pack competition. May I remind Mr. Haye? It's not a six-pack competition. It's not a bodybuilding competition.
Style versus substance.
Right. Exactly. So therefore, let him bring what he's bringing on the night. We will make him, I say again, dance to our tune.
Okay. Recently, it's been there's been let's put it this way, a lot of talk about PEDs and a drug related incidents where certain boxers have been found out to be on performance enhancing drugs. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to put my little 2 pence piece in. First of all, it could be said that there are a lot more fighters that are on PEDs, okay, in fights. How do you, as a trainer, A, ensure that your fighter doesn't have it, or B, you know, just your general views on it?
Well, my general views, I'm quite ignorant. I know it might come across it. I'm quite ignorant where these things are concerned, as in drugs. Yeah, because I'm a very clean living individual personally. So the people I associate myself with, there's a lot of reasons why I take on a fighter or an athlete on to train them. You have to be of a certain type of person for me to want to be with you and work with you. Yeah, so all through your relationship with a fighter, you get to learn a lot about them and know a lot about them. You get, you know, you get involved emotionally. You get involved with these guys, you know. And so I like to know or think and believe that any of my fighters wouldn't be needing anything to enhance their, well, it wouldn't improve. People who do it, is it going to improve your skills? No.
Well, there have been recent incidents of one or two particular fighters who have been using it, and even if they've been using it, their performances still have not allowed them to win world titles. Or
absolutely. So, you know, so I really don't understand the logic of putting drugs into your body. Yeah, cheating. Okay, cheating to I condemn it. Yeah, highly condemn it, and God forbid, I say God forbid, should I ever be associated with anybody who I'm training that's right, then it'll be unforgiven. Yeah, unforgiven, because, you know, you can do it naturally. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it, but individuals are individuals. You can't. It's certainly something I'm against, something I will condemn, something I will talk anyone out of. If they mentioned it to me that you know I'm not sure if trainers worldwide are behind their fighters who take drugs. I wouldn't know any trainer who would say, yeah, take that, knowing that it's a banned substance to enhance their performance. I don't believe there's any trainer worldwide who would be have anything to do with aiding their fighter to take drugs. And if it happens to me, God forbid, if it happens to me, then, like I said, I will condemn and will not have no association with that fighter whatsoever.
I had a thought, a crazy thought as it would be. The whole PED thing is a one way to basically end the career of a fighter. Any fighter. You could have fought, you know, and had a great record and been a multi-weight world champion.
Exactly.
As soon as somebody says you've got PEDs, it destroys
the whole thing.
Exactly.
Of course it does. So why? It just, I mean, what's the guy with Amir Khan, Peterson?
Yes.
I mean, look, what was in his head? This guy, yeah, for doing that. And then the guy, I've heard about his history, his background. You know, having come from that background, and you've worked so hard to achieve something, make something of your life, then you gone destroy all by that. I mean, it just.
Let me flip it another way. Logical. Let's say that these tests, some of these tests were maliciously done, because again, it's a way of shortcutting or stopping somebody's career very quickly, who could be a threat in the future.
Yeah, look,
as a fighter.
Look, I'm not being funny. You and I can only assume.
Yes.
Yeah, that such foul play wouldn't
happen.
So.
But the world is not like that, though, as you know, Don.
I know. I'm not saying there's always a percentage of doubt that perhaps they've tampered. I'm not for 1 minute saying that's the case, but you've just said it. So there's always a possibility somebody's innocent. Okay. Then it's up to that person to prove their innocence.
So don't you think that every fighter and every fight there should be drug tests before anybody steps in the ring?
Because it's now more evident, it's coming out more and more now.
Yes.
You know what? It should be compulsory to be tested before and after.
Do you know if it's going to happen for your particular fight?
No, we haven't requested for it. I'm not the governing body. I think it's something the governing bodies should really look at, and maybe that's a way of preventing these guys. Because if they know, because some people are probably maybe taking a chance, say, you know what, I'm going to do it, and if I win, if I'm tested positive, I've already won. Okay, they've taken it away from me, but I've already won. Do you understand? Yeah. So therefore, wouldn't it be better to, prevention is better than cure, right? Maybe it's better to test these guys prior to the event and during preparation.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, during preparation, if we've got a 10-week program, 12-week program, then the testing doping body should be maybe pay 2 visits during that period, and then test them straight after the fight. That's a way of maybe preventing these guys doing it.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Don Charles. I appreciate the interview.
It's always a pleasure, Ingram.
Thank you.